hey ho.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't happen, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we can
hey,
keep an eye out, but
actually, I want to talk to you.
okay.
Come in here. How do you think shift one is lately? How is it overall?
Um, it's
Not necessarily when I ask this question, give me as much as you can. It doesn't have to be just about what we're doing. It doesn't have to be necessarily about us. It can be the criminals, the civilians, anything. Overall,
it's okay. It's running, you know, like it's running okay. I think for the most part, it's going pretty well. There's pretty good groups of cops that kind of go to different scenes and all that kind of stuff. I do think what we spoke about earlier is a bit of a problem that some people don't just... Some people just sit with their hands in their dicks. I'm gonna just put it that way. Like, especially after like all the excitement's ended, right? And all of that kind of stuff. A lot of people just sit there and don't really answer on the radio when you're asking them questions. I also find that... I don't know if this is a result of stubble as well. I think that without stubble here, I find that everyone struggles to make the hard calls. You know, like beating them down when everyone came there. I ran in there and I just started whacking, you know, like, because they shouldn't be going and taking suspects. Like, it's things like that. I find that people are a bit more scared to do that. And I don't know if that's just because they just let Stubble do it, or Stubble's the only one that has the confidence to do it. But I think that's one of the main things I noticed. And just a little bit less proactiveness from quite a few people. But it also depends on the day, the motivation, what's been happening, and all that kind of thing.
okay. In terms of calls that we're responding to, is it the same thing every day? Is it a nice variety? Are we getting shot every day?
When I've been on duty, it's been a variety. I mean, there's always the S+, the S++. Either a bit before I get on duty or when I'm on duty, there'll be a 37 Alpha. There'll be a bit of a variety of banks. I don't think there's any like abnormal shootouts. It's more like, I mean, obviously we're used to it being on like a 37 Alpha. Yeah, more expected shootouts. I haven't really seen unexpected ones.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking is because I think we need to change things up a little bit. I think we need to shake stuff up. I think part of the reason we're getting such absentee primaries and absentee people on scenes and mistakes happening is I think there's a lot of burnout right now because it's the same calls every day. And then on top of that, those same calls we're getting shot at. So it's not just, oh, I have to respond to this S+. It's, oh, I have to respond to this 37 and I know I'm going to get shot. So essentially, over the next couple of weeks or so, I think we should have a meeting at some point. It should be probably me, you, Viv, Stubble, Snow. Any other Shift 1 command that I'm missing?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. And we should have a meeting about, because I do want to make some they're not changes. I just want to change priorities, I think.
Okay.
Like how today when we had 11 units on duty when the S+ started.
Yeah.
And even though me and you and Lucas and Casanova and I can't remember who else was on that A+, and we were dealing with that. Tig, Fury, and then Iris responding to an S+ on their own. And they were on that for 20-30 minutes. That, like, to me, when we have like 10 or 11 units on duty, these priority calls should not be priority anymore. Because it's just going to lead to us going to this call, and then if we're too good at our job, we're going to get shot. And then at that point, when there's only 11 hours on duty, or 10 if there's a dispatch, then the likelihood of us actually being coming out of that alive is very unlikely, and that's just demotivating, and it's not enjoyable, and people could die. So I think just I'll kind of have this conversation with everybody. Say we're having it one-on-one with everybody if we can get in a room, but there's only 5 of us. It shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
It's just about giving cops on duty room to not do the things they normally have to do. I think is a thing. I want to remove us from this water wheel of death that we're on every day, this Ferris wheel that we just sit on and go around and go to the S class and go to the 37.
Yeah.
My ideas coming from obviously changing the priority, encouraging dispatch to get us to some more 911 calls, and get us to some more calls where like calls that we're not just going to get shot at, calls where we have to go and chat to people to find out what happened. Less, I'm going to say it, less things.
Less things.
I'm going to say it. And this isn't me. I don't want to stop anybody doing those kind of things. I just want to make sure that people aren't forced to do it every day. Because I think I've noticed, like, you know, a few hours ago when shift one's supposed to start, there's like 5 or 6 units on duty someday, and that's not normal. So I think something needs to be done, and I want to take the initiative. And you know, we can't control what the criminals are doing, but we can control what we do.
We can.
So,
the only thing I worry about with that is with not too many of us on duty. It feels like people can't really choose what they go to, what they want to go to, because pretty much when you respond to a call, it's like the whole force is on it, because there's only like 5 of us or 10 of us or whatever.
Yeah, that's the issue, really, isn't it? Which is why, like, if there is low units, removing priority calls should be an option, I think. It's something I'll run by. I think we'll have a chat about. But like, let's say a vault pops off and there's 10 units on duty. Like, do we go to that?
Yeah.
Or do we spend our time, instead of that one call that's happening, do we go and deal with like several smaller calls? You know?
Yeah.
I guess
I think it's a difficult one because it depends on the day as well. Like, I found myself, I've been breaking people off of like the S Plus, for example, or the 37 Alpha to go to a vault, you know, get that hostage safe, and all that kind of stuff. But people need to be able, but people need to be able to decide it too. So that's also another problem. As I said, I feel like with Stubble not around, people can't make the hard calls, and I feel like it's a similar thing as if you, I, or Stubble or anything like that who will make the calls aren't around. Then people will try and spread themselves thin and go to too many calls. Maybe because they feel like they have to, or maybe because they don't want to go to a certain one. But something does need to be done about that for sure.
No, I agree. I think that's the main thing. I just want to bring back a bit of choice for people. Just not having to do the same thing every day. Being able to come and do it and say, okay, today I want to do something a bit different. And, you know, it doesn't mean they're not going to respond to like an S Plus if it's needed, but it's not having to come and do the same. Like me, most of the time, I leave the office, I end up in a shootout, I'll be honest. And that's not something that even I want to, like, I don't want to go on patrol much anymore because of that kind of stuff. So if I'm experiencing it, God knows what it's like for a normal officer or deputy these days, who are out there, you know, every minute of the day unless they're processing. So,
I do find the less time you're out on patrol, though, the more shootouts you respond to, because those are the ones that are the highest priority.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think also the problem with what you're saying, though, that could be is that everyone thinks that their call is the most important. And
that's accurate, and I think that's what happens a lot of the time with shootouts or kind of 78 calls, is when people go and do things, but they're on, even if they're on their own or they're with somebody else, they're not careful about it.
Yeah,
and it's a level of, I don't know what the word is. They're a little bit inconsiderate when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Like, we've had that complaint a lot.
Yeah.
Someone's on something and then they escalate themselves, end up getting shot, and then everybody has to respond to a shootout.
Exactly. And then they're like screaming for 77s, like they'll be an S Plus, multiple interference. They're screaming for 77s on the radio, and then you don't respond, then you get called out, and it just ends in a big mess of demotivation for everyone.
Exactly. which is it's honestly nailed on the head. The kind of thing I really want to stop happening.
Yeah.
So I think let's have this talk when Snow and Stubble and Viv are around.
Agreed.
Let's kind of get on the same page about it, and then we can pass it down to seniors. And
Yeah.
I just want to make a bit of a change, I think, and see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
Yeah, but might as well try it, right? Yeah. I'm always
Exactly.
all for just giving things a go. So.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your ear.
Awesome. Of course. Thank you.